I am an avid 3 Days Grace fan, and I'm going to rank all of their albums plus the Lost in You EP because I got bored. And quite frankly, that boredom usually leads to stupid ideas like these. So, let's just kind of get right into it. In ninth place, we have the album that is Transit of Venus. I want to preface this with these albums are all really good in their own respective doubt, right? Transit of Venus, top tier album, in my opinion. In my opinion, it's in my top 15. But when it comes to rating against other 3 Days albums, this is the bottom of the barrel. And it really could just do some work, right? Like, it was Adam's last album. I felt like he was burnt out and didn't want to produce anymore. He didn't want to make any more albums. Obviously, it wasn't true. He went to Santa Sonia and then he came back, obviously, as we all know. But this album definitely could have been better for Adam's going away. It would definitely be a better album if some of the songs were more catchy. You have to think about this album. You have to think in your mind about the lyrics. It's like the J. Cole of the 3 Days albums. No one wants to sit there and listen to that because you have to think about it. Meanwhile, other albums that are higher up on this list, the lyrics, they just kind of flow into you, you know? Don't pause. It's catchy, right? You can sit there in the middle of a classroom and you can mumble those lyrics to yourself and it makes sense. Who's gonna mumble the high road to themselves in the middle of algebra? This EP, which I'm putting in 8th place, is unironically, it is useless. All it has, it recopies Lost in You from Life Starts Now. It takes a piano version of World So Cold and then does a remix of The Chain. It's useless. Why did they make it? Now, while you may be asking, Colors, if it's useless and doesn't need to happen, why'd you put it in 8th? That's because, in my opinion, it is somehow more memorable than Transit of Venus. When I was making this video, I forgot about Transit of Venus. I had to come back in and re-add it. That is insane. Also, the 3 songs are good songs that they copied. It's just no new content. So, it's boring. Didn't really need to happen. So that's why we are putting it in 8th place. Hold the pitchforks. I know you see the album cover. Just hold your pitchforks. The only reason this album is not in, the top 5 is because of the execution of the album. They gave us basically half of the album before we were able to really, it wasn't much of a surprise, right? They gave us half the album. So, when they released this album with the songs that, if we're being entirely honest, aren't that good, none of the new songs on this album on Spotify even cracked 10 million listens. Everything else had over 10 million listens, the lowest of the singles that end up on this album being Dominate. It's the lack of new content. We only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 new songs. Meanwhile, with their earlier albums, they only released 1 single, and then we got 11 new songs. So, it was more content. Especially, we needed more content, especially because of the fact that they hadn't released an album for 3 years. Okay, be honest with me. Name 2 songs other than I Am Machine and Painkiller or Fallen Angel off of this album. Name 2. Just 2. I'm waiting. You can't, can you? Yeah, I really can either. It's not the worst thing ever. That's why it's in 6th, of course. But this album is a little forgettable. I mean, really big album. Still very good, of course. As I said earlier, all these albums are amazing. Is it the best 3 Days album? Not even really close. Before we enter the top 5, I want to preface with this. Why do I keep saying preface? I'm not a philosopher. But all of these are really close together. These are really hard decisions to put in one specific place. Here, I'll put up a chart for you. There you go. There's the chart. They're all really so close together. This is a dumb idea. This chart took me so long to make. Admire it before we go on to the 5th place. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. Why am I making this video? This is another one of those ones where you just kind of got to hold your pitchforks, if we're being entirely honest. Yes, it did perform technically the best at the time, but if we're being honest, this is another one of those ones that, like, every song that isn't the big ones, you can't name. Name any other song on this album other than Break, World So Cold, Lost in You, and The Good Life. And Going Down. But that's just a personal favorite, I guess. The album isn't that good. You're being brainwashed by Big 3 Days. It's not the best ever. I'm sorry. And the fact that I had to put it in 5th, again, sucks. But there are just some albums that I have way bigger personal biased connections to, so I have to be a biased person. Do I like the album? Absolutely. Love it. Definitely in my top 7 albums of all time. Is it better than the next 4? In my opinion, no. I see some of you are a little mad, and that is justified. But this is a personal favorite, okay? This was the first album I ever listened to. When they dropped this album is when I got into 3 Days Grace. I know the lyrics to every song on this album. It is a really good album, except for that one song that we do not talk about. Its name starts with an N. You know which one I'm talking about if you're a real 3 Days fan. But other than that, this album is absolute peak and is probably my 4th favorite album ever. It was probably Matt's best solo work. Not even close, really. It is unironically an amazing album. A Scar Is Born is a amazing song. And don't even play with me on that. It is just the truth that it is an amazing song. And you can, quite frankly, suck it if you think otherwise. It's peak. Just like, leave me alone. Okay? Just let me have my personal biased opinions, okay? Leave me alone. That take was actually crazy. That is a really hot take. No pun on the explosions. But there is something even more insane that you're about to see, and I'm sorry that your eyes are gonna have to go through it, but you know, you'll see. Hold on. Okay, hear me out. Hello, this is the police department. Colors was shot upon saying that. This album, okay, listen, okay? It is not as good as the next 2. I'm sorry, dear nostalgists, I'm sorry, okay? I have a personal connection to these next 2, and this one, is it good? Yes. Is the expanded edition even better? Yes. Should it be second? Probably. But I'm not fair. I am a very biased person, therefore the next 2 are higher. As a person who self-reflects upon himself, this album is really good. I'm going to give it its props. They absolutely cooked in 2003, which, holy hell, that was 23 years ago. What? This band cooked this album, and it shot them into the starlight, and it is an amazing album. I'm giving it its props. I'm giving it its first ever, its first album. They really cooked on it, and it definitely gave them a lot of popularity. I'm giving it its props. I'm giving it a lot of time. I'm not gonna rush through it like I did with Human, because that album doesn't deserve props. This is just the best album. Not the best album. What? I don't know why I said that. It's not the best album. It is, at the time when this was released, one of the better rock albums in 2003. Of course, it had competition still, but it is still a really good album, and I'm giving it its props. Hush. Do not say a word. Do not say a word. This album is not the best, obviously, because it's not first, but in my opinion, it is really, really good. It is amazing, even. The first 5 songs, all amazing. And the middle, it does get a little drop-off-ish. Love Me or Leave Me, it ain't good. It's not that good, bro. And then you get to Villain I'm Not and Chasing the First Time, and The Abyss at the very end. It is chef's kiss. I don't think you guys are ready to understand that this album is better than their debut album, and I'm okay with that. I'm just trying to preface this to y'all. Why do I keep saying fucking preface? I'm not a philosopher. I don't know why I keep saying that, but I just want y'all to understand how good this album is. and people skip on it a lot and like don't put it on their lists, like a lot of the songs on the lists, because it's just like forgettable. They released it in 2018. They took what, 4 whole years to make another album. You know, it kind of just sat. This was their low point. When, in my opinion, if this was one of their first 4 albums, this would have been their high point. If this released instead of Transit of Venus, the hype they got from what's it called? Life Starts Now, they would have kept having. I think this album is unironically one of their best, but it is not the best. And you know the album. You know what fun it is. You know. I need y'all to understand that this is peak Adam. This is their best album. Was it more popular at the time than Life Starts Now? No, but it should have been. It is the only other album other than their debut album to have a song in the Billions Club on Spotify. And I'm just going to break this down for you 2 seconds. It's All Over in Pain. Both amazing songs. And What I've Become is the hit song, but it is not, in my opinion, the best. Never Too Late and On My Own. Both. Mwah! Chef's Kiss times 1,000. Riot and Get Out Alive. Shut up. Let It Die. We don't talk about it. Over and Over. Just absolutely amazing if you went through a breakup recently. Time of Dying. Absolute peak. Gone Forever. Also amazing if you went through a breakup. And 1X. Actually, I'm looking at this on Spotify right now. Why is 1X the one with the least plays? This makes no sense. Life is unfair. I think I'm going to leave now. My love for this album is undying. I love it so much. It is amazing. I still think Alienation should have been called 2X because, you know, like there's 2 singers now. I'm gonna die on that hill. I will die on that hill. But I'm just gonna say Animal I've Become, it might be better than I Hate Everything About You. I think I can say that with confidence because it is immaculate how great it is. I'm describing this like I'm a philosopher again. I'm gonna leave now. Goodbye.